Yo, 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 yo. The mic works. That's good. Big up to each and every one of you, and welcome back to another episode of the EPL Week Review Show. I am Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV, and we are here to talk some more football, people. Another match week is in the books. The EPL 3 weeks into the season now, people, and we get an international break. Now, for most fans, that is not the best. You know, they just got back to their club football. They want to continue going with the football, with the clubs. But it's time for international break now. For me personally, I like it because we get to see the reggae boys playing. Now, that's a whole other story. We're not going to get too far into that. But people, first and foremost, I want to say maximum respect to all of you who took part in the predictions this week. The master sheet, the book is too small, people. We need a larger size book. So we're gonna go and get a larger book for next week because the people them want to play, they want to get the trophy, or they want to be the donkey. This week it was a race to see who could be the donkey, right? Trust me. But honestly, this is the first week I would say that the form book went out the window for a lot of these games. And there were matchups that split a lot of the choices between two teams. Of course, Arsenal playing Liverpool, that was a big split. Another game this week that had varying answers for the result. Man United Burnley, that was one that was very split, between draw, win, win, so yeah, it was a week that was a little bit harder to predict, and as I said, the form book kind of went out the window, and there were quite a few shock results, But we're gonna talk about it all, people. We had the first week, I think, of a crazy VAR controversy. We'll talk about that for sure. We had the first and second place teams last season facing each other, so that was obviously the talked about game for the weekend, and we're going to go all through that game as well. And then, of course, the citizens, Manchester City, having a tough time at the Amex Stadium. So, people, we're going to talk about that and much more as we get into the show. But remember, it's scrolling on the screen. This is a YouTube platform. This is the YouTube platform. So, the best way to support Jason Guna, hit the like button, people. Hit the like button, please. Then, after you do that, share the content as well. You're in the groups, you're in, you're in your family, them. Yeah, man, share it around, let people know, yo, even if you're not going to watch the show, just big up support my friend, and hit the like button for him. And definitely, if you're new to the channel, you love football, you're a fan of football, you like talking, having a deep conversation about football, then you will definitely like the content on this channel. So consider finding the subscribe button, hit it, turn on the bell notification so you will know when Jason Guna is live and bringing content to the people. All right, so that's enough of the talking, the bag of talking, people. First and foremost, um, there's some big news, very, very big news out of the Premier League, and it would be wrong of me not to point it out as soon as we get started in the show. I will be right to the comment section in just a second. I'm trying to multitask right now, as is the norm for somebody like me, because we like to watch the football games, so I have to make sure that we're in tune with everything. But people, before I get going in the football, the breaking down of everything this week, I have to show you guys something, and it's, if you're a football fan, I'm sure you would have seen this by now, but pretty much the inevitable was delayed for a long time. But not only do they win the game today, but then they also get the chance to grab what I think is the best striker in the Premier League right now, Alexander Isak, to Liverpool. Here we go. Deal agreed now for 130 million pounds. So that's pounds, people. So that's like 180 almost $1 million. Euros, I want to say it's about 160 or somewhere around there. So yeah, it's a serious transfer fee few people. He's on his way today for the medical test. You know, I think the window closes at 12 tomorrow in the afternoon. So or 1 or 2 o'clock or something like that. So pretty much race against the clock to get it through, but I'm sure the paperwork would have been signed, and it's just the medicals and the, you know, all the stuff you have to do afterwards. But yep, all you fans of other teams, it is time. It is time. Here we go. It's over the line. We have seen some here we goes. Don't mean anything this summer, but this is not a Tottenham Hotspur transfer. So I believe this will be happening, people. So Liverpool getting stronger, getting stronger. All right, let me see. Muffin Bill. Bill, Muffin Bill. All right, Joseph Brown, bless up yourself, you know. Family is good. This week was rougher than last week. I might get the hee-haw 2 weeks in a row. Trust me, it was a dog fight, not for the trophy, but for the donkey. Trust me. Headache, man. I tell you, big up Reggae Boys and Girls Supporters Club. Yeah, man, big up to Uno every time. What a day, LFC win and Isak to Liverpool. Same thing, Richard Stewart. Brother, I had to just put it up for the people that don't know, you know. I would like to thank my family and all who support me as I accept this prestigious and coveted donkey. 2 weeks in a row. Big up yourself, I had one. Hope you are well. Hope you had a good weekend. Yeah, man, big up yourself. Biggs G said Liverpool. That is it. Yeah, man, the customary, you know, if your side get 3 points, let me see the threes in the comment section. The threes in the comment section. I can't really put them in the comment section this week, people, but, you know, you are more than welcome to drop threes in the comment section right now. If your team indeed grabbed 3 points this week, so if Grimy there, no threes. If what my boy name Conrad, if Conrad forward with the one bar, so one bar is perfect because I get 1 point today. Still one more than me though. Jano Star, yeah, it's right, CK. So you can't even talk to me this week because you suffer the same fate. Big up yourself, CK. Thanks as always for being a member of the channel, people. That's another way you can support. Find the join button, locate the join button, become a member of the channel. It's another way you can show support to Jason Gooner TV, help us to grow and you know, continue to improve what we bring to the table. All right. First time catching up. Yeah, Christopher Wright, big up, bro. Big up yourself, man. Glad you found the channel tonight. We have a nice show, a lot to talk about. That week was a good weekend. Not really what I wanted to happen for my team, but I can still say as a football fan, I enjoyed a lot of the games this week and the action. So, you know, all in all, football wins. So that means the whole of it wins. Yeah, I guess I can say something like that, you know. Float management in the building. Big up yourself. Wow, go on. Hope all is well. Big up DJ Gigs in the building. What is Pool doing with Isak, brother? Man, them say, yo, player overload, you know, baller overload. You know, see Saliba mash up himself. Say, if I have a whole heap of baller nowadays, man, pure injuries. Every time a man make 3 sprints, hamstring, knee, tightness, everything, muscle this, strain. Murder is right. A free kick, the murder we share done. Wheel and forward, you know. Man's finally free. I tell you. International break, please. Yeah, Chile a big feet, boy. What a difference 2 weeks makes, man. First week, the whole of us said, boy, City look like the City. We win every league. And all of a sudden. But then again, every time I say that international break is just as bad. Yeah, I was about to say we get a break from, you know. But boy, Reggae Boys are next. Reggae Boys, see, even the supporters club say headache. So I know this was in reference to Arsenal, but I just pray that Jamaica don't bring me the same type of headache. Big up Jordan in the building. People support Jordan Hyman. And also support Reggae Boys and Girls Supporters Club. They say them a run out with so much content, but yeah, man, give them a strength and subscribe. Definitely subscribe to Jordan Hyman. You'll never walk alone. You get one today. You get one today, bro. You get one today, bro. Not much I can say, you know. I'll say it all in the match review. Sure, that and then disaster week in every situation, predictions included. Yeah, it was not the best for me in anything, honestly. Real life, fantasy, prediction. Yeah, no, it just appeared thump me get this week. Bless up Jaguars in the building. Yeah, man, hope all is well with you and the fam. Okay, so I'm not the donkey this week. Okay, good. Big up one Barca. We're kind of lucky today, but the season early. Yeah, well, I guess when me I break down the Arsenal Liverpool game, I can always say that too. The season early, you know. At least we score. There's that. There's that. I don't know. Like, does it hurt more when you score and then you lose after winning, or does it hurt more to lose 1-0? I don't know. It don't matter. It don't really matter still, because at the end of the day, yes. In the grand scheme of things, the tiebreaker is goal scored after goal difference. So in that sense, you guys had a better loss for the points table. You know, when you really deep it. Next match day, I'm gonna use AI because it's rough. Who win? Now win. Yeah, well, I can see how good AI is, you know. I think AI will know. Kind of lucky today, Barca. Yeah, I see that. I just see the highlights a while ago. I never get to watch the actual game. I see the highlights, and yeah, once them score the equalizer, like the man them didn't want to take the 3 points from them. Never seen any EPL games this weekend, but we'll catch up on the highlights. Yeah, man. Catch up on the highlights, man. Some good game. That's the rumor. That's the rumor that Gay is coming. Help Jackson. Yeah, the rumor is Gay is coming. Gay scored a blowout goal today. Your team was poor in the final third of the pitch to me. Oh, Barca, yeah. Alexander Free and Jackson replace him. Nah, man, the German I replace him. I think they might get Isak or try to get Isak. 0 points is 0 points. That's how I was preying it, but I try break the tie. Awful weekend. Miss both my NFL drafts. Worst day. Jaja. So you play NFL fantasy and you miss the draft. So sometimes it work out okay like that. But yeah, it don't sound like it was good for you. Man said give away the ball too early. Yeah, so that's my reason about the Barca game. All right, people. So I could get right down into the games. No need to wait anymore, people. So Saturday morning, bright and early, people. I woke up to Chelsea facing Fulham at Stamford Bridge. Now, Chelsea won the game 2-0, right? Goals courtesy of João Pedro in first half, injury time, and then Enzo Fernandez on a penalty in the second half. And, you know, it tells the story of a game, Chelsea winning 2-0. Long spells, I would say Chelsea had the better of play. But, you know, Fulham had their moments. I thought Chelsea started out a bit slow for them. And Fulham definitely was up for the fight. After the first, I would say maybe 10 to 15 minutes when Chelsea had the upper edge, Fulham then started to play and had a really good spell. And, you know, the problem really was right in that start of their really good spell. They scored what I consider to be a clean goal. Joshua King was through on goal. Good composure showed by him. He chopped back onto his favored foot and then wrong-footed Sanchez by kicking it to the near post. It seemed like he was going to try to curl it to the far post. And what looked to be a 1-0 lead for Fulham. Now, VAR came into play. And, you know, I remember at the time thinking, okay, it looked to be well onside. Or, you know, not close to the point where they would need to go look at it on VAR. So then I realized that they actually were sending him to VAR to look at a foul. Now, what happened basically is it's kind of like after a duel happened, the ball kind of pops away from Muniz. Him and Chalobah go towards the ball. Now, Muniz gets to the ball first and does like a, I guess, what do you call that when you stand on the ball, change feet in the air to kind of drag the ball away from the player. So that's basically what Muniz does, and his back ends up turned to Chalobah, who is running towards him. Now, when his left foot now is on top of the ball and his right foot needs to go on the ground, Muniz lands on Chalobah's foot. You know, of course, Chalobah goes down, studs onto the top of your boot. These days that hurts a lot, because these boots nowadays very light on the top of the boot right there, because they want the boots to be light. They don't want them to be too heavy, and that is very painful, trust me. So I'm not saying he shouldn't have gone down. I'm not saying he tried to sell it. Yes, it would have hurt for him to land there. But my question is, like, what is Muniz meant to do there? If his foot is going to come down after being in the air, surely he needs it to come down somewhere. And if Chalobah's foot happens to be where he's going to land, I don't know how that could be considered a foul on Muniz. I don't know if anybody agrees with me on this, but to me, it was very strange, especially, and I love the fact that now when they look at VAR, right, and they come and tell the fans and the people watching on TV what they saw on VAR. I love that, because it kind of, in a way, it's annoying a little bit, because it reminded me of the NFL and stuff, and that's one of the things about NFL, like the stopping and the talking and the constant breaks in play. But I do like the explanation, because what he said was very important for me now. So the man said that he said the number 9 from Fulham fouled number 23 from Chelsea in a very like, his action was done in a very reckless way, I think is how he worded it, right? I'm thinking reckless way. So again, if somebody does anything while playing football that requires them to jump in the air, at some point they'll have to land. So you're telling me every time somebody else jumps this season, and even if it's for a header, for anything, and lands on the person's foot, and what was amazing is normally when that happens, the player who lands on the person's foot might turn the ankle or something. Muniz never did. He just landed perfectly on his foot and just kept running. So I don't really know what Muniz was meant to do there. I don't know how it was deemed to be dangerous or reckless, because if you watch football from your barn, you would have seen players do that to change direction with the football. Kind of stand on it with one leg, switch to the other foot, and change directions with the football, and then try to get away from the defender, which is what he did. Now, of course, he was aided in the fact that when he landed off of that right foot, or on his right foot on the ground, it wasn't the ground he landed on Chalobah's foot. But my thing is, how can that be a foul? It's not like he controlled with his left foot and then had his right foot up in the air to kind of shield Chalobah running into him, and like has his stud showing or anything like that. Literally what I describe is what happened. If I had a football right now in this room, I would turn the camera and show you. But if you watch the game, you know what I'm talking about. I just don't understand where the man's foot was supposed to land. So the fact that they called that back for a foul on Muniz, it just kind of set the tone right here. And not that the penalty that Enzo Fernandez converted in the second half wasn't a penalty. I just think it was, it's kind of like, it rains, it pours for the manager, because he has seen a goal get taken away by VAR. Then they have a penalty shot in the second half. Chalobah goes to cross, Sessegnon jumps, and does make his body bigger. So I think it was the right call. But it's just the cruelty of, like, play going on. The ref on the pitch said it's not a penalty, and VAR calls him again to just look and make sure. And after he looks at it on the screen, the right call is made. But of course, when you're Marco Silva in that moment and you know how the first call went, and I mean, I could understand the frustration. So, and he's a hothead. So I was very shocked that he didn't get a yellow or a red on this day. I think they had a bit of understanding, I think, because he was cussing and right up in the fourth official face. But yeah, I think Chelsea, they got away with one in this game, honestly. And I think in stretches in the second half, though, it must be said they played some really good football. Once they got that second goal, the penalty goal, there was a nice 20 minutes or so, if you're a Chelsea fan, where they were really passing it around, really knocking it around. I remember Estevao had a decent chance that Leno made a good save. And I guess the one knock, I would say, in all that beautiful possession, I think Fulham was really there to be killed once that penalty went in. And they tried, but I don't think they had enough clear-cut opportunities for my liking, especially based on how the game was going. But to Fulham's credit, they did end off the game very well. I thought Chelsea pretty much was on the back foot once. I would say it started pretty much when Estevao came off in the 68th. It started to flip a little bit, and then by the time Traore came on for Iwobi in the 84th, I would say like that whole time, that last 12 to 15 minutes with the injury time added on, it was really all Fulham. And Sanchez had to make a couple saves and some near misses and things. But yeah, I think the main talking point for me in this game was João Pedro played really well, right? Of course, we saw some other drama. So there was drama on the pitch and off the pitch for Chelsea. So you see right here, Liam Delap, he had to get subbed off in the first half in the 14th minute, made a run and just immediately went down feeling his hamstring. Nico Jackson was at the time in Munich to seal a deal to Bayern, but he was recalled from that, told not to do. Oh, Messi just kick over the ball. Messi should have equalized people. But there I watch Inter Miami and Ian Frey. I try to see what I'm going with Ian Frey, and Messi does boot it over the bar star. Easy chance, you know. What a ball by Suarez. Oh, Leo. Idiot. I don't know why the man tried to kill it. I should have been 1-1. My big fear outside him. Look over there. Sorry, people. Got excited about it. But Liam Delap came off in the 14th minute. A recall my boy Jackson. So the Chelsea fans are about to rejoice. And then Liam Delap looked like him pull up. So they have recalled him. I saw today as well that they have recalled the guy from Sunderland, Mark Gill. So he should be coming back as well. So they think that obviously Delap pulled up, so it's a hamstring. It's going to be a little bit of time. So they don't want to take any chances. It looks like they really don't want to play Pedro as a striker then, which I agree with. I think he's going to cook more if he plays this role, this little freer role. Now, the problem is it's working out right now because, obviously Coley P is out as well. But what happens when Coley P comes back? Who's the one that kind of sacrifices? Do you put Pedro off the left and put Palmer in the middle? Do you play Palmer off the right? How is that going to work out in that area right there? Does Pedro nail it down? Because I don't know. What do you guys think? If you had to choose between two 10s, João Pedro or Cole Palmer, who are you playing more in that 10 role? Chelsea fans, let me know. Chelsea fans, let me know. Who you taking in the 10 overall? Pedro or Palmer? So yeah, this game, people, the statistics will show that Chelsea had the more big chances. There were high expected goals. The shots were close, 13-11. Both teams missed a big chance, so it wasn't. But Chelsea had two more and converted two of them. Their goals, obviously. So the duels pretty close as well. The passing, Chelsea had more entries. You see the percentage on the pitch, mainly in the middle third, but more defensive side for Fulham. Tackles, yeah. So the overall stat, you can see Chelsea, at the end of the day, 54-46%. So Fulham definitely in spurts did their thing, but I think, I would love to see how the game is if VAR doesn't overdo it in the first half, because for the life of me, I don't know how that was given. But good win to the Chelsea. They are now sitting pretty, still haven't lost yet in the Premier League, and that's 2 wins from 3, and a draw to go with that. So they are doing just fine so far. Man United, Burnley. This was the 10 o'clock fixture. One of what? 3 games at 10 o'clock, I think. One, two, three. Actually, no. One of 4 games at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning for me. 9 in Jamaica, of course. And this was 3-2 to Manchester United, and they needed Anaheim time. They needed some Anaheim time. Oh my gosh, Flo, don't say that. It is dangerous play according to the rules of the game, but what is the player supposed to do? Losing foot like a crab? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what he's supposed to do. I don't know what he's supposed to do. VAR changing the game, people hardly can get away with anything now. Yeah, you can't even land on the ground. That wasn't a penalty. The player back was turned. No, Mirak. I don't think you can say it wasn't a penalty because the player back was turned, though. Bless up Jason and all Chelsea fans. So I'm not bless up nobody else, people. Just the Chelsea fans here. Big up Odell. DJ, as I say it early, but I didn't like the idea he take off Rafinha and put on Rashford. Yo, when I saw that sub, I said, all the Barca heads are going to hate that sub there. If it don't work out the right way. Good cross free. Who named Messi? Some old washed up player? Jeez. Wicked float. CR7 would have scored that easily. All know CR7 can't win nothing over so, brother. What a tackle. All right, come washed up player. Show them saying I wash. Cut in on the bomb. Jeez, man, take it from him. Easy. He might be washed. Palmer for the 10, them said. No more Palmer away smoke, Jason. Only the highest of the highest, Odell. So why that's not a question? Jay Chalom said no reasoning time on the Jamaica squad. Brother, Chalom, I'm gonna need a whole Chalom for that. But no, yeah, man, it's forwarding. It's forwarding. Don't say nothing. It's forwarding. The squad not change. Well, let me not say that. I might wake up in the morning and see somebody different on it. But don't worry, man. Of course, we're gonna break down the squad. EPL, they're on a break for the international. So you don't know the reggae boys and the madness will take center stage on the channel for a while, Die Chelsea, but cool. Yeah, so everybody said, we understand Jason, Arsenal don't give you that excitement. Only when it's a set piece, then we get really excited. DJ goal and assist today is still not good enough, part not big enough. Yeah, man. Yesterday, the man have goal and assist, brother. And it was like everybody would never get picked to something. I see Burrell get an assist as well. I see Kyle Duncan bench and never play. I see Tavan Gray start. Now Tavan Gray never assist or score or anything, but him play. Jason, I'm waiting to see how Garnacho gonna fit in. I don't see where he will play or over who, but he wanted to come on board. Odello, that are the biggest waste. I don't know what the point. Unless he does now go play Gittins ever. Or he just knows a man just got injured, so you just have a whole heap of people. United needed the 12th man, aka the clock. Ruben scammer win. Nah man, Ruben honor him. But him scammer win, yes. Big up Labil. How can you say he made himself bigger if the ball hit him from behind and also while in the air? No, because all right, he was slick with it. Like he purposely did that to make himself bigger. Like once you turn your back, like you see how my arm move up as I turn. Like his arm didn't have to be up where it was. Trust me, he knew what he was doing. his silhouette was much larger than it would have been if him just stand up and, he knew what he was doing. Just because a man turning back and don't see it, don't mean he's not aware of like where the trajectory of the ball was headed to. And I'd want to get most of my body in the way, but you can't use that part of your body to be in the way. Simple. You're not going to change my mind on this mirror. Frankie all up in his feelings. He was pissed watching this Arsenal game. I'm sure he hit Arteta too, so I'm sure he was beating him. Villa missing that left foot and width. Brother, the man want to play a narrow system with no wing. So let him do what he want to do, brother. He can continue to get 3 love. Because I'm not there to save them when them do foolishness anymore. Emi look like him going United. Manchester United, that is. If Nepo Bala was good, he'd be with Messi. I was going to ask you who was better, Duncan or Gray. Not familiar with Duncan. Well, I mean, Duncan at one point in the season was getting every start. And Suarez, if you were just 3 years younger, that would have worked. So far, Shesko look clear of Gyökeres. You think so? I think so far both of them look okay. Big up Eras in the building. Hope you're good, my brother. All right, so listen, Man United, Burnley people. So this game was a madness still, because Man United, to be honest, they actually played well. They actually played decent in the game. Cunha went down, Xerxes came in. Xerxes did his thing. Mount was off at halftime. I think he's also picked up some kind of knock again. And Menu, who wants out, came in. Now, in the first half, they played really well. Should have been out of sight. I think in the first half, if you look at the stats, just want to see something. First half stats alone. Another big chance missed by Inter Miami. Oh my word. I don't know which one worse. That one there, Messi one. Both of them horrible, but that one might be a little worse. So yeah, they had 2 big chances mixed with about, look at the expected goals in the first half, 1.6. They should get at least 2 goals out of that. Sometimes 3. 15 shots in the first half. So they were going crazy in the first half, people, and it looked like it could have been any number for Man U. They were sharp. Then I don't know what happened in the second half to them. Still had the load of possession and everything. But this was really and truly at the end of the game. Most of the second half, it wasn't enough. It wasn't good enough from United. And it wasn't until they drew the game back level 2-2. It's like that's when United wanted to turn up. And in the end, they turned up enough because they got the 3 points. And, you could just see it now, like, what that would have been 1 win, 1 draw. No. Did they win the last game? No, they drew. So, yeah, it would have been 2 draws and a loss if this game ended 2-2, where it was poised to end. But in the end, it was a penalty to Manchester United, which Bruno Fernandes converted. Was it? Yeah, Amad Diallo was the one held on, and it was, yeah. I don't think you can have much gripe with the penalty call, to be honest. Sad to say. I think Hartman did. Was it Hartman? No, it wasn't Hartman. Who was it? Esteve? Which one of you people did the foolishness, man? Who fouled the man? This man nearly gave up a penalty when I timed him. But I thought it was a good no call. People were saying I'm mad, but to me they were both fighting each other when Mount and Walker got in the box. But Manchester United, man. I mean, they were so close to another meltdown from the fans, and I don't think. Well, I think Arsenal losing somehow make it better for Man U fans now. Like they're not as upset because there's one Man U fan that is quite mad, and when Arsenal game done, the man said United only 2 points behind Arsenal. I'm have to laugh, star. That's horrible. Glory United should have been up 3-0. Yeah, man, they should have been out of sight. That is true. And Boomer looks like a bargain. Well, I don't know, it costs 80 whatever million. So I think that's pretty much what him should cost. I don't think he was a bargain. Tigre is a good player tactically in the right back position every time I saw him play for his club. Yeah, he's sharp for his club. I mean, clearly there's a much better understanding of his role and where his teammates are compared to where he is on the pitch. So he looks much more assured. When he plays for Jamaica, he just looks very tentative. Yeah, Anthony. Arteta needs to be sacked yesterday, in my opinion. Yeah, Eras. I don't know how people can defend what was done today with some of those decisions, man. I'm sorry. We're going to talk about it. But yeah, this game right here, Jadon Anthony. You don't know the thing, go. If you want to, we have slots. So think about it, Jadon. 2-2 for Jadon Anthony in the league for Burnley. But yeah, goals. It was getting funny because Man U had gone 2 goals for the season and they were both own goals, but eventually they scored with their own final touch. Brian Mbeumo scoring one after a cross from Dallo after some good work by Man U on the left. And then, like I said before, Diallo earning the penalty. Under scrutiny of VAR was upheld, and then Bruno Fernandes stepped up in injury time. Now they were getting a bit of backlash and some flack for basically like what was deemed over celebrating at the end of the game. Some people were kind of upset with how they were celebrating and everything, and I think my boy the name Jay Butler, I think. He was saying, it looks like they have won the World Cup or something, and I think the co-commentator was basically saying, look at what they've been through, and it's been a tough week for them, and all this other stuff. And he was just saying, yeah, but they're going crazy with this. You would think that was a title-winning penalty and final result or something, or do they get a trophy now? So, look, I remember when Arsenal had that level at them a few times in the past, and I was always saying, brother, let the man them celebrate, yeah, man. So life for football, End of the game is supposed to happen if you win the damn game. So I don't have no problem with that. I'm not gonna say they're over celebrating and it's just Burnley at home, so it should be a little more relaxed and all this stuff. I mean, they were probably thinking of how bad it would be if they drew the game. Like how much booze and just the toxic, everything would have been so toxic. Now, the thing is, I do think that there is a large section of Man U fans, regardless of the fact that they won, saying that they're not really happy with what they're seeing under this manager. So, I think going forward, the main thing is going to be how does Man U kick on from here? It's been a weird one for them because they played Arsenal really well, I thought. They had a shocker last week, right? And then against Fulham, I thought they were kind of poor. They had a spell where they were good, but once Fulham got into the game, they really didn't cope. And then today, it was a bit of both performances. So there was a bit of the Arsenal type of performance in the first half, and then in the second half, it was much more like their performance in the second game. So I think the consistency with Man U will be a big problem for them. But I do think their best looking form this season looks better than anything I saw last year so far. So if they can put together more like spells of those times, then I think Man U could have some joy. Plus, I think the biggest issue for them right now, like overall as a team, is the defense, but to a lesser extent, but for the most part, to me, is the goalkeeper. And a lot of reports out from various people that usually pretty reliable saying that Martinez pretty much is, you know, a piece that Man U want to get over the line for deadline day, which is basically already started, because in the UK it's what, like 3 in the morning. So yeah, so in about 9 hours from now, I think the window closes. So they're probably working now overtime to get that done. And by the end of this show, I might can check and see say it happened already. So Manchester United got the 3 points. We'll see what that means for them in the table. Have they finally moved from 15th? We'll find out in just a second when we check the Premier League table. So people, let me see what the comment section talking about. Jaden Anthony gave away the pen. Yeah. Thank you. Couldn't remember who it was. The stupid shirt pull. I think somebody was asking me though, like, should that have been a penalty? Because he wasn't really in the box when he started to pull it. But I think that was just smart on the part of Diallo to make sure, all right, let me drag this this hold at least into the box before him let me go, and then I will fall down. So I think, he was asking for trouble once he got the wrong side of him, and his first instinct was to pull the shirt with him being so close to the box. That's just dangerous. And I honestly feel like Jaden Anthony just lost. He didn't quite realize fast enough that damn, he's in the box. I think he was thinking it would be a set piece, which is still dangerous, but not as bad as not as bad as obviously what happened, a penalty. Yeah, respect Anthony, Jaden Anthony. No, he's a one Barca. Labil says Greenwood gonna play for Jamaica. I don't know if him still have social media and stuff, but if he does, you can ask him there. Cause I don't know. I don't freaking know at all. I couldn't tell you. All I can tell you is that him not coming for these games right here. Absolutely abysmal performance today. I agree. I mean, the first half was better, but I'm not gonna act like it was this great performance in the first half. Ian Frey get sacrificed. I'm go feet now. Bring on Fafa Pico from him. Jade Anthony gave it. Yeah, I made a mistake to watch the replay. I wish I could get back at 2 hours. Trust me. It was a rough one, man. Second half. I mean, I was already upset from before the game, but we soon get to that. Mark Gay should have changed his name to Marquinhos or Ada Santos Ramos after Gay, so Pep would have break the bank for him, don't it? And Boomer look like a labubu. Why we alerted to buying defenders? It's a game of emotions. People chat. I pay my son Pedro. No defender. Yeah, man, it's a game of emotions. I don't understand. The celebration was justified. We had a bad week. If you play football, you understand it's more about celebrating the start of the future. Now Signal's just gone too far. Them just a celebrate because them win the damn game. And it was a roller coaster game. Them feel like them was going to win, them dash a bag of chance. It was about to be doom and gloom, and them get out it. I'm about to celebrate the start of no future, brother. You're gone too far. Yeah, man, the game was poor, both sides. Thought both sides were a bunch of almost. Almost. 2-0. Oh, that's a huge play for Inter Miami there. Huge. The man dep on goal 1v1 with the keeper and never finish it. Get up, man. If Man U did lose the game or draw, them would have get beaten the same way. Facts. Bayern there has better ball distribution than Onana. And have some rotted long pass still. But I said, don't bother, right? Barcelona have a good keeper now. Tell your club first free Jackson because they never want the ball. Tied fifth right now. Damn. So you're going to tied fifth. Ninth, them the brother. I wonder where I talk about tied fifth and be a tiebreaker in the table. The season just started free. It did. Can't get too overwhelmed, you know? Watch I look at FTV clip. The man they say the team never play bad, Robbie, etc. Robbie always say the team play good, brother. Always. We could have played foolishness. All right, so biggest news out of the game, as I said, Man United getting cautioned by the celebration police, and Cunha going down. Need to see the extent of that injury, but not the best news for them. Sure, they got their new signings in. They want to have them available, so we'll see if that forces Amarim to finally start Benjamin Sesko in a game. Labille said that him looking better than Gyökeres already. I haven't really seen much to split the two of them. I know everybody will say, boy, this goes them by them for, and Gyökeres gone too, which I can agree with. I think both of them in gameplay, they look a little bit off the pace. When it comes to anticipation and things of that nature, them always seem to be second best right now. But I think that will come for both of them. I think today Gyökeres was a little bit sharper in the 50-50 duels and things like that. Won some out, lost some out, but the first game against Man U, he didn't win any of those. Second game, obviously, it was a much better day for him, different opposition, and I thought at Anfield it wasn't all bad from Gyökeres today, but we'll get to that. 3-2 to Man U, so a big win for them. Another game that took place at 10 o'clock on this day was Sunderland and Brentford, people. So 2-1 this one ended, and this game was looking like it might have been a 0-0 up until the 77th minute when Igor Thiago scored a good header from some brilliant approach play by Brentford off the right and to the middle. Nice cross sent in the box by Frank the Tank, and it was a great header by Igor Thiago into the ground and then off the underside of the crossbar and in to beat Roofs. And then that's when the game got a bit mad. So earlier than that, though, Kevin Shawley did have a penalty saved. Not really the best penalty in the world, it must be said, but the keeper still had to do his job and get down and save it. So that was a letdown for them. But then when they went ahead 1-0, they were probably thinking, okay, we have what we need now to get over the line. But credit to Sunderland, they really pushed, and then they did get a penalty. Future potential reggae boy Rico Henry came on in the 72nd minute, and he was the culprit of a penalty giveaway, just throwing the attacker out of the way. I think it was Isidore who he threw over to the ground. And once that happened, the referee did spot it, and the penalty was called, and it was tucked away by Lafay, who had a good game for Sunderland. Tucked it away calmly, and then they didn't stop there, people. 3 minutes later, I believe it was, no, more than that, 6 minutes of injury time, Brilliant header. Wilson Isidore came off the bench and provided a goal after Granit Xhaka did his trademark whipped cross from the left-hand side, and the header was perfection as it beat Kelleher in goal to make it 2-0. So, 2-1, sorry. So Sunderland with 2 games at home in the first 3, and they got through both of those with 2 wins. So 6 points from 3 games for Sunderland. Very, very good start for them to life back in the Premier League. This game, I would say it could have been a draw easily. But it's something about the Stadium of Light so far. They have been able to at least create an atmosphere and a buzz. If it's even in small patches of the game, they have been able to really bring the game to their opponent at home. And, you could tell even when they went down 1-0, they still stayed the course. They still were creating, carving up openings. And, once they were able to get that penalty call, that really gave them a boost. And once that stadium really got going, it really was only going to be one winner if there was going to be one. And as I said, Wilson Isidore came up with that big goal to make it 2-1 to Brentford. 2-1 to Sunderland, sorry. Big up to Nitro. I think Nitro was the only person. Nitro and Game Birds got this score correct, actually. They were the only 2 people that had Sunderland winning this game. So big up to them. Tottenham Bournemouth, people. This game was a unanimous selection by everybody. A unanimous selection, Tottenham to win this game. I think one person had a draw. Everybody else had Tottenham to win. And what happens in the game, people? Of course, Bournemouth turns up at the Hotspur Stadium, at the Tottenham Stadium, and basically slaps them. 1-0, but it was a slapping, people. Trust me. When you look at the stats from this game, possession, fine. But look at the expected goals, 1.59 to 0.19. So Tottenham did absolutely nothing. 3 big chances to Bournemouth. A lot more shots on target as well. 6-1. So the man them a beg out a penalty as usual. 3 big chances missed by Bournemouth. This game could have gotten out of sight, out of hand. I don't know how Semenyo never score again. 2nd week in a row. Man get a header from right outside the 6, put it over. 1v1. Big save by the keeper. Just go wide. Man, a lot of chances fell to them. They weren't able to convert. It was a good early goal. Really and truly, it was just some lax defending on the defensive line. One player holding Evan Nielsen onside, and he kind of earned his own luck. Took a shot, took a try from a poor angle. Was able to get the right deflection to get it over Burn Leno. Here comes Seattle. They definitely deserve. Well, I wouldn't say they deserve, but they've had ample chances to get a 2nd goal, and then Bright gives away a penalty. Idiot. Sell himself, star. The game this now. Seattle go score this penalty now. And him not complain, so him know. But yeah, Bournemouth just took it to them people. I don't know. I didn't really see this happening. But I think what really happened in this game is finally the lack of a creative player in midfield came to haunt them in this game in particular. Bournemouth just made sure to kind of press, they played a high press and just said, listen, I dare one of you 3 midfielders to turn one of us and get beyond us. And they weren't really able to do it. So it became a over-the-top game. They were strong in the duels. Senesi, Diakite, Truefair, Hill when he came on. So nothing Tottenham was doing was really working. And they didn't really carve out anything in this game, as evidenced by the statistics, the low expected goals. But yeah, Semenyo on another day could have had a brace. I thought Brooks was really good in this game. He supplied a couple of those missed chances by Semenyo and Evan Nielsen, Poacher's goal. Give me a chance, a glimpse, a way to take a shot. I'm going to try, and of course, him get rewarded for trying. So big up to Senesi as well. Fantasy beast for me this week. Saved my week, honestly. So yeah, that was Bournemouth taking Tottenham back down to earth. They were undefeated, hadn't conceded a goal, but they lose this one 1-0, and it really should have been more. If you watch the game, you'd have known that Bournemouth deserved more than a 1-0 victory for how well they played in this one. So that was Bournemouth and Tottenham. Now we move into the last game at 10 o'clock on Saturday, 9 o'clock in Jamaica. This is 3-2 to Everton, people, and not gonna really harp on this one so much. I thought Everton, in a way, probably could have been out of sight. Once it got to 3-1, it was looking like it was gonna get really ugly. But credit to Wolves, they fought hard, they never really gave up. And when they pulled that one back from Rodrigo Gomez, it was feeling like we just might see a 3-3 game at least. But they weren't able to find another one, so it's another defeat for them. 3 losses from 3 games, and they have a similar start to what they had last year. The goal scorers in this one, better than Hee Chan Wang. That's probably one of the best wide crosses on the ground you'll see. Munetsi with the crossing was brilliant. Beto's goal, assist off the header from Jack Grealish, put it across the area, and then Beto tapped it in. And then Iliman Ndiaye did get the second goal. Good work again. Grealish overlapping run from Dewsbury Hall. He cuts it back, and a good step over by Beto. Then Iliman Ndiaye put it in. And then Kieran Dewsbury Hall. Again, Grealish involved, driving from midfield. Good run from Dewsbury Hall. A nice, delicate little chip pass by Grealish, a scoop pass, and on the volley, on the run, Dewsbury Hall couldn't have struck it much better to make it 3-1. Then, as I said, Rodrigo Gomez across came in from the left. Keane doing his usual madness. Don't know why he never tried to clear the ball. And then Mikalenko was on his heels. Rodrigo goes in and finishes in front of both of them, looking stupid. But as I said, Wolves just did not have enough time or quality to go ahead and get that third goal in today's game. So Wolves in the mud, 3 losses from 3. Vitor Pereira had a really good bounce last year when he first came in. Not really getting that to happen again this season so far. I think for them, when you look at the defensive area, definitely could have some improvements there. I mean, Toti Gomez has somehow gotten his way into the Portugal setup. I was actually surprised by that when I saw him playing for them the last time. But none of these other players to me are that good, to be honest. I mean, Agbadu had a terrible mistake. Bueno was not that great today on the ball. So they don't inspire much confidence back there with the players that are back there. And I think that's going to be a big issue for them this year, even knowing that up front and in attacking areas, they might be a little light as well. I think the main thing is they're going to need to score too many goals than what they probably can score. So Wolves, yeah, man, you're on relegation watch. I can't even act like that's such a crazy thing to say or a massive take or whatever. But yeah, it's obvious, man. You guys are gonna have some issues this season, even though I think you play some decent football when you're ready. Leeds hosted Newcastle, and I think the less said about this game, probably the better. Just seemed to be a game that never really quite got going. Leeds did end off the game decent. Newcastle had a couple of decent spells as well, but just wasn't good enough from both teams to really warrant a super long explanation. It was nil all. Neither team got to the one expected goals. Leeds did have one big chance in the game. That was the only one of the game. But like I said, people, this one was not one that's going to be remembered for very long. Ellen Road was a great atmosphere, so I'll give them that. But other than that, the football was forgettable. All right. Brighton and Man City. Now, this game right here was very, very entertaining, right? So I watched this one this morning more so than Nottingham Forest West Ham game for the most part. And yeah, I feel like similar to with Man U against who they played, Burnley. This game could have been out of sight. I mean, Haaland had a header point blank, good save, another near miss as well, and a good chance. City were getting chances. It could have been 2-3 in the first 20 minutes or 25 minutes or whatever it was. But then basically, the dominance kind of continued, and eventually they were able to get through Marmoush, some good footwork, nice little delicate pass through the legs of the defender for Haaland to run onto and tap in from close range. Now, then we got into halftime. Basically, in the second half, it was much the same in terms of ball control, ball possession, but definitely not as much goal mouth opportunities. And as the half wore on, the possession started to fade a bit, and the goal scoring opportunities or shots even had dried up altogether. And when they did earn that penalty, and James Milner stepped up. Well, first and foremost, I want to say Fabian Hersela, great job because he went down 1-0. He didn't quite panic right away. He didn't make subs at halftime. He told the starters, look, we're going to give 15 more minutes, and if I don't like how it look, we are going to change a lot. And he probably told them, didn't tell them which players, but the players who were maybe going to be in that quadruple sub, I am sure 3-0 Seattle, done, 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 done. Because he brought on Milner, Gruder, Reuter, and Ayari. And as you can see, both goals in the comeback were scored by players off the bench. Minter had a really good game today. Didn't score or have an assist, but he was very influential. A lot of good runs down the flank, putting pressure constantly on 8 Nori. As you can see, he had a tough time today, 6.1 with a yellow card. So Minter did his job. And Gruder was really, really important. He drew the penalty. I thought it was him, but it wasn't. But he scored the goal to win the game. Right? What a penalty to go again? Was it Kusanov? No, he did do something else after that. Why can't I remember how the penalty went? I'm soon tell you. I'm soon tell you. Oh yeah. Nunez with the madness. How could I forget? So Nunez have a photo shoot tomorrow. So he was covering up his face. And yeah. Yo, that was the maddest one. Ref blow off the match. I'm embarrassed for Miami. Yeah, man, the left winger from Seattle coming like I think he would have beat our fast man named Cephas. He would have beat Cephas in a race, you don't think so? Yo, Falcon we kill people, Yo, look how the man a choke out the monster. Yo, Falcon is some real gunman, where him depend. Nah, man, Miami. One really I do Miami. Come on. Falcon a choke out the man. Yo, John Bell. John Bell, how you mean? Yo. How you mean, Bell? Fling over that. No, man, this horrible, man. I wanna go on so star. Yo, the coach is like, yo, John, go over there, so. Messi in a fighting thing with them. Wow. Big war go on. Oh, you know, like John Garcia or Juan Garcia, whatever you call him. The guy on FTV, the Spurs fan, he funny. He have me laughing a lot. Yeah. You talk about expressions. Yeah, he's probably the best in the business, to be honest. Come on, people, hit the likes button. Big up. Big up, Dre. How about you win? Or you just want me to talk about Chelsea? An EPL show. So Chelsea win. Congrats. Yeah, man. Big up next up. What go on? Hope you're good, bro. He'll come around in the future. Yo, people, give next up a strength. Go and subscribe to him channel. Giving you the Reggae Boys content daily when you can. London is blue. And red too. Crystal Palace are London too. Blue and red. Seems like he's a better centre back on the ball and out the ball than King to me, but he's not out of many land people. Yeah, I like him at centre back more as well, Gigs. I have the same feeling. Today was a bad day for them around 3 guys near marking them all today. Yeah, man, I saw life go, man. I saw them deal with soccer all the while. I say a word next up. They chop it up EPL style, of course. 399. Tell them again. Yeah, bro. A lot of us though. It's not you alone this week, brother. The whole of us fight out donkey. Donkey for the week, you know? You guys really wanted this title, this dubious title. But we are in the mud. It's a fact. Was it though entertaining for whomst? Rather 90 minutes and looking better, one of the few positives. Well, yeah, that's a positive. That's a positive. But brother, I said Brighton, like that second goal was nice. The passing, the movement, man, them splitting open, crazy. Gruda running and chop up 8 Nori and the keeper. But the problem with City right now, guys, I mean, look at this defense. What the hell is this? Look at the bench. Diaz came on. Clearly, he wasn't fit because why would you start Kusanov over him in any game? Right? Rico hasn't been the best so far this season, it must be said. So he went back to Nunes, who ended off the year last year. But he was okay. He wasn't terrible, but he wasn't great, and he gave up the penalty. I thought he played good other than that foolishness, to be honest. He didn't play bad. Then you have Nico Riley came on, Doku came on. They were okay. Nobody, that was the thing. Nobody for City besides Rodri and Marmoush and Haaland probably for the one goal were really that good. Reinders wasn't as influential in the midfield. Oscar Bob was glimpses, but nothing was coming out for him in the final third. And yeah, it just wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough. And Brighton, that those 4 subs, they all made a huge difference. Ruta was getting himself about. Ayari was breaking the lines, and they had a nice second half, and they really were able to prevent City from creating as many chances as they were able to in the first half. They cut that down all the way, and Brighton took advantage. And in the end, they probably deserved the win because they had the clearer cut chances in that second half. So 2-1, Brighton got the win, and it was a big win for them. I don't think anybody had the foresight to pick Brighton to win this game. So it's another one we all took a L for. Now, moving into the other game at 9 o'clock, which I think every single person picked either a draw or a Forest win, and this one ended 3-0. Now, and to be honest, it wasn't even a case where you could say Forest really were wasteful, and I didn't see none of that. I think West Ham just said, listen, we're gonna be more pragmatic today. We're gonna play more defensive. We're gonna play as if we know that we probably will be fighting relegation this season. And I think just that one little change in approach was all they needed. They really buckled down. They were defense first. I think Kyle Walker-Peters' emergence as the right back now is a good move for them, because it kind of just gives them a little more dynamism on that side. And Diouf on the left is an athlete, can get up and down the park. I was saw with his cross for the third goal today, can give you some quality as well down that left-hand side. They went with the back four. I think when you play Mavropanos, that's kind of possible, because even though he's a big dude, he's pretty athletic, can get around a bit, and definitely, played better than Todibo has been playing. So let's see if that continues. Wan-Bissaka had been playing, played really well last year. But yeah, I think it's going to be tough now to get rid of Walker-Peters, because he looked really good in the game today. So Nottingham Forest just wasn't their day. Chris Wood had a chance or a few, but nothing incredible. Did miss a header that he would normally finish, though, to be honest, but he wasn't able to convert it. And yeah, it just wasn't good enough from them today. Didn't have enough of a threat on the ball, like that they should have. They had more of the ball, which is rare for them. But West Ham, like I said, were very pragmatic, and they were just willing to stay in their shape. And they were like, look, we have Bowen on the break. I think one of the keys for them as well moving forward. I don't want to get ahead of myself and say, oh, West Ham is the team to beat now in the Premier League, but I think Wilson getting some full fitness is great. And I think Somerville coming on, he saw his little cameo. As soon as he came on, very direct, got the ball to Bowen for him to finish his goal. The first goal was beautiful, curl outside the post and back in. And then the second goal, Somerville again, driving down the left-hand side, getting fouled in the box, penalty. The third goal, he's the one driving the team forward, passing it out to Diouf before he crossed it in for Wilson. So, instant impact for Somerville. And, he looked like he was going to bring impact last year when he got there, but he got injured, and it kept being, it wasn't thought to be so bad at first, but then it kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And eventually, he never came back for the season. So, as I said, not going to overdo it. And I'm not going to overdo it on Forest side either and say, hey, something is wrong, what they're going to do now. It just wasn't their day. It wasn't their day at the office today. A part of it could be that they might have overlooked West Ham a bit. I don't think you could say that about their application, because it's not like they weren't trying. But yeah, maybe they just didn't have that level of focus that you need to turn over a team in the Premier League today. So West Ham, kudos to them. Graham Potter might have bought himself some more time, I think. That's going to be considered a big scalp to take. At the City Ground, they're usually very hard to beat, and for them to beat them 3-0, that's big. But another big thing from this game, too, that I thought is noteworthy, when Paqueta scored his penalty, I love this celebration. So picked up the phone, called, wave off the phone, throw away the phone, hold the West Ham badge, kiss it up, like to say, yo, they did call, and I throw away the phone and say, yo, I don't want to talk to you. So, yo, I like that celebration. If I'm a fan of West Ham, I'm going to sit up and say, yo, respect. No, what would be kind of sad? What would be kind of sad is if the man end up leaving still, but I'm just saying, in the moment, as a West Ham fan, because West Ham fans probably saying, oh, Paqueta's linked with a move away, he's leaving. I mean, who would want to stay at West Ham right now? But look like him going to stay, people. Look like him going to stay. So, based on the celebration, at least. So let's see if it actually does come true, because that might be even more cruel now to see that. And yeah, to see that and say, yo. So yeah, people, 3-0 to West Ham. Nobody saw that one forwarding, people, because not a soul picked that. Not one person. Everybody had a Forest win. I think one person had a draw, or two people had a draw. Yeah, that's it. Big up to each and every one of you checking in. Big up to my brother, Bianconeri boss. You missed the part where you say, drop your threes in the comment section if you side get 3 points, you know. So you can drop your 3 now, Bianconeri, boss. All right, so 3-0 to West Ham. Now, we'll get to the game now, people. My Arsenal facing Liverpool at the mighty Anfield Stadium. And of course, it ended 1-0. Dominic Szoboszlai with a goal worthy of any game winning. Brilliant free kick. Most of the time, you know, when Raya concede free kick from him go Arsenal, I always cuss him wall, I cuss where him stand, I cuss everything. Today, Mr. Raya, I'm not gonna cuss you because I don't think he could have done anything else. I don't think he could have done anything else. You can't really stand on your goal line for a free kick because you want to get a better angle. But the way how that ball was able to go over the wall and dip the way it did with that much pace, he would have had to have been standing like so far behind his wall to save that because he didn't, and he cheated because I think he kind of knew the technique was going to be power because it was far. So he did cheat, and it just wasn't enough. Just wasn't enough. It was a brilliant strike from Szoboszlai. 1-0 to Liverpool. And basically, you know, for me, it was two halves, right? The first half, I thought Arsenal was the better team. The second half, I thought Liverpool was the better team. What I will say though is it felt like when Liverpool was in the ascendancy in the second half, it felt more like Liverpool was going to score than when we were in the ascendancy in the first. I don't know if anybody agree with that. But the first thing, people, you know, of course, before the game starts, the first thing you want to see, you know, who will start. And, you know, over the last few years with Arsenal, it hasn't really been that intriguing to wait for the starting lineup because Arteta pretty much had his starting 11 that he loves, barring maybe one position, the left wing. You pretty much knew who was going to start. If everybody fit for Arsenal, you knew who was going to play. Now, this year, I think what makes the season so intriguing for a lot of fans of Arsenal is that we actually do have areas of the pitch where it's actual conversation now, like, okay, who should we play here? Right? Now, we thought that with Saka and Odegaard out, really the only spots on the pitch that were up for grabs would have been Odegaard's position here and where Martinelli is starting here. So I'm looking, and of course, when I'm looking at the lineup, I'll start at Ryan. I work my way through the team. So I get to the midfield and I see Rice, Zubimendi, and Marino. And I remember saying to someone, they had asked the question of me, since Odegaard is not playing, who would you play in the number 10? Ethan Waneri or Eberiche Eze? And I said, well, seeing as how Eze can play off the left, I would just play Eze off the left and play Ethan at the 10. And I remember after saying that, saying, but you know what? It is Anfield, and you know Arteta style. Don't be surprised if it's not Marino playing for Odegaard. And I don't know if that person that I was talking to is here, but I guarantee you, if he was, you'd say, oh, yeah, he said that. Because even today when he saw the lineup, he said, yo, you did mention Marino too, you know. So I was already livid because obviously I don't know everything. I'm not a pro licensed coach. I'm not qualified to coach Arsenal. But I don't understand. Marino hasn't really featured yet this season very much. Kind of come on to spell in games, you know, kill off a game, whatever the case is. I just didn't understand why you have the base. You have the base that you have. You have Saliba, you have Gabriel, you have Calafiori, you have Timber, you have Ryan Gould. That's a solid 5 right there. You have Zubimendi, you have Rice. That's a solid 7 players that can really protect your goal and stop opponents from scoring goals. Solid 7. You're telling me you can't have 4 fully attack-minded players on the pitch at the same time at Anfield, because Anfield, that's bullcrap. Absolute bullcrap. Now, Arteta will probably argue, well, you say that, but in the first half, If you look at the balance of play, we were the better team. So what do you have to say about it now? I'll say, listen, we could have been the better team with a more attacking-minded number 10 playing. We could have been the better team that way. Don't tell me we had this advantage because of that, because I'll tell you another thing. In that first half, when we had all that advantage, Mr. Arteta, what the hell did we actually do with it? 0.31 expected goals, 1 shot on target, right? Is that the type of control and domination that you want to see? Because I heard you in the press conference after the game talking about you're not going to go to Anfield and dominate for 95 minutes. Well, I don't want you to dominate for 95 minutes, but could you dominate for 5? You never dominated at any point. You never dominated at any point. They had more entries than us in the first half that we dominated. So I am not going to fall into this trap of Arteta telling me something and it don't make sense. Because, look, I'm not going to say we played horribly today overall. There were aspects of the game that we did well, you know. But to be totally honest, I don't think we played well enough. I don't think we played well enough. I don't think we asked them enough questions. Yes, we kept players quiet, but I don't think Gakpo was quiet. I don't think Verts was quiet, right? You know, Szoboszlai, obviously, with the free kick is a bit inflated, but look at their defenders compared to ours and the scores. You know, does that look like we dominated the game or anything? You know, it doesn't really look like that to me. So, and then the benches, you know, Mosquera I thought was brilliant when he came on. Saliba had to come off with an ankle injury. Found out after the game he turned it or tweaked it in the warm-ups today and told the coach he would be able to go. And basically, Arteta said, okay, I'm going to listen to you. And after he did the first 2 things he did, Arteta said he could tell that he couldn't do it and told him to go down, and that was that. But by the time he brought in Eze in the 70th minute, the game was still in the balance. But by that point, you know, Liverpool had taken the momentum in the game, you know. So I couldn't understand holding Eze back in this game, especially with all the build-up, all the, you know, the rollout of the social media and all the emotions from Eze himself. And I just don't understand why you don't. It's like, it's almost like you made it less impactful than it could have been, you know. And then when you factor in that Martinelli gets this 6.8 primarily because he ran back and tracked back and tackled people and just blocked areas and just made sure to be all action on that wing. I mean, look, he had touches all the way back by his own box because he runs all the way back. So yes, he's needed, yes, you know, but man, Eze needed to cook from early, bro. Liverpool, look, for me, they were okay. They were okay. The second half, I thought the spaces in the midfield started to get really glaring. You know, Zubimendi, Rice, and by that time, I think Odegaard would have been on as well. Those spaces started to get extremely stretched, especially by the time Curtis Jones came on. He was finding those pockets really well, especially, you know, because Liverpool did a good job of at least drawing us up the pitch by having a slower build-up, but then they would play that quick line breaker. And once the first player got it, Jones seemed to be that extra man every time. And he did it before, and then for the free kick, he did the same and got fouled, and that's when they converted the penalty. So there were some things that started to happen and a pattern that started to take place pretty much a little bit after Eze came on. I'd say from when Chiesa came on. And it was just getting more and more frequent. And yeah, once that foul to Jones happened and that goal scored, you know, it never really felt like Arsenal were going to get that equalizer. No, he did throw his wild card in there in the 89th minute, Max Dowman. But even that is a bit strange. You have Trossard, you have one area on the bench. You turn into the kid to try to get you out of jail in the 89th minute. It is what it is. I'm not going to kill him for that. I think Dauman is good enough to play. So if he thought he could have done something, then bring him on. But yeah, man, it wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough. I thought Vert had his best game so far. Was much more involved. Didn't look to be off the pace as much in this one, but he did come off with what looked like cramp. So hopefully for them it's just cramp. But he did play better today. I thought Soboslai just wasn't tested. It was like a walk in the park for him. He literally was an extra midfielder because he would get involved into the middle as well. And he didn't really get punished because Martinelli is a shell of himself right now. He's just, I don't know how Carlo Ancelotti put him in the national team based on what. I don't know. He's been poor. Van Dijk was good. Kirk has had his best game for Liverpool as well today. I don't even think Noni was bad, but Kirk has held up well over the course of the game. I mean, Noni did get by him a few times, but it wasn't that frequently. And I think Kirk has held his ground for sure. But yeah, Gyökeres, I mean, he huffed and puffed. He ran around, put himself about. Some plays he looked like he would never be able to kick ball properly. Others he looked fine. Get it shielded, drop it off. Played a good ball one time. When a player made a run into the box, he was wide and he kind of played a nice reverse to them. So, I mean, look, I was okay with some of the hold up play. My problem really is they still need to release him more when we get past that midfield area and the defense is a little bit pushed up. Even if he's not fully open, you need to play that pass. Even if you play it to his feet and let him push it into space in front of him. I just don't think we hit him early enough on plays. If you look at the goal he scored against Leeds, I think one of the reasons why he scored was space was there. It was just played over the top by Calafiori out the blue, and he ran into it, had a head of steam, could pick his direction to go, and he made all the right choices to finish. But I'm not gonna say Yucker is. He's just not. To me, it's like, all right, like the basketball analogy. I would say it's like how like Kobe is like it just looks nicer when Kobe does it, like smoother. LeBron is wicked just the same, but it don't look as nice. It's not as smooth. It's more robotic and strong man. And to me, that's Gyökeres. That's like Gyökeres and like Isak. Like they're both strong in their own ways. I think Gyökeres is probably stronger, but Isak is just more silky. He's gonna do it with a little bit more. It's gonna look more pleasing. It's gonna be cleaner. Gyökeres is not that guy. The aesthetic is not that nice looking, but the effectiveness is there. So we'll see. That's two games against quote unquote better teams that he has been quiet in, and the one time he played Leeds, no disrespect to them, but not as good as Liverpool or even Man U. He didn't look the best, But I do think this performance was better than the Man U. Still not what we want, but better than the Man U one. Zubimendi, I thought in the first half he was brilliant, but I think he faded a lot. And I think if Norgard was around and not injured, this would have been a game where he would have came in for Zubimendi, because I don't think he was physically, towards the end of that game, or basically this whole spell of Liverpool play that was really good. I thought Zubimendi struggled through the whole of that. All right, I chat a lot a while ago. I'm sorry with the comment section I deal with. Trust me, I want to talk about Arteta and him afraid self no more. Arteta would be afraid of his shadow, Not even would be. I think he is afraid of his shadow. All right, let me see. He was way too far from his line. I don't know, man. The dip, man. The dip was perfect. I mean, you can't really be standing on the line. So I don't think he was too far. Just think it was just a good strike, man. Sometimes sometimes the best defense can't stop the perfect offense. I just say it go. Arteta, get out, coach. Yeah, I run him. I would have run him. I wouldn't run him because I like a next team, no? Aren't you Liverpool? Why you run him? You don't want him stay. They never look right. I was watching it on it. Okay, okay. We took back the offside. Yeah, starting 3 DMs is criminal. Facts. Because I don't care if you converted him to a striker. I mean, he's not a prototypical DM, but he's like an attacking player that plays like a DM. How did Eze do? Did something so filthy on the goal line. I'm offended y'all didn't win. Bro, Eze was on the field for, I think he came on in the 78th minute. So he played from then till the end. And at the time, Liverpool was in the ascendancy, so he didn't really get the ball that much at first. But like once they scored, and it was like we were trying to get back in the game to get a goal, he started to get the ball a lot more, and he was gliding past people, man. He glided past Soboslai one time, then he killed him on the sideline, like you said. But when he got into the box, it just wasn't coming out for him. One time he ran in, and was getting pulled from behind, but it was like it wasn't enough, to call a penalty or anything. It was like, good on the line of allowed defending, Levels to it. 5 years no win for Teta. Time to go. The words of Claude, sleep in peace. Even when he wasn't at his best, he still gave them wit on the right. Now they have no and are easy to defend. Oh, if it's Rob Smith, I'm sure it's Bailey and Villa he's talking about right now. You guys notice Bailey don't have any muscle in his foot. Thighs, my son was laughing. He looks like an entertainer. 7, 8 corners, but we defend that game tactics well. No, here what the corners were ineffective enough. We kept getting corners on the same damn side. And we never have no left foot of a whip them in because the coach didn't want to play one area like a madman. Idiot. One area would have put 2, 3 of them cross the better than them. 7 or 8, me see Declan put from that side outswing. Listen, I don't need a license for that decision there. Facts. Liverpool was waiting for Gunners to make a move first. They were in the mode for 70 minutes. I don't think it was that long. I think about I would say about 10 minutes into the second half, they started to boss it. This was Arsenal's first EPL test. In previous games was championship team Leeds Man U. I thought he was a game changer in Villa, but he always injured. Look now at Roma injured again. Can quickly go through your player ratings for Arsenal side. Yeah, we can do that quickly. So Raya, but I probably give Raya 7. I don't think he was bad other than the free kick, and I don't even think the free kick he was bad. I think it'd be harsh if you say him bad. So I'd say a 7. I won't do a 0.5 or a 0.1. I'll just say a 7 for Raya. Timber, I'd say a 6. Timber could be a 5. I'll say a 6 because I did like how him drive forward a few times, but defensively, I don't think he was as good as normal. So a 6 for Timber. Saliba didn't play long enough. Mosquera for me get the highest out of everybody. So I'd say Mosquera get a 7. Well, everybody on the defense line. Mosquera get a 7. I would say Timber get a 5. Mosquera get a 7. Gabriel get a 6. I would say Calafiori get a 6 because he was decent. Zubimendi get a 6. Rice get a 6. Who else? Marino probably gets 6 as well. But actually, I'm gonna have to give the whole midfield 5s because something was missing from all 3 of them. Madueke, I'll give a 6. Martinelli, I'll give a 4. And Gyökeres, I'll give a 4, 5. I'll give Gyökeres a 5. Held the ball up decent enough. Bench players, Eze, I'll give a 6. Who else came on? Odegaard, 5. Max, probably a 5. Yeah, Martinelli left his skills at home since last year. We use a makeshift wing back. Yeah, he was brilliant. He never was tested over there until Eze came on, and he never stopped Eze once. I think Arsenal competed well. Questions were asked. Yeah, first off, we had a little spell that I liked, but I don't. We should have asked more questions for me. Like, this team is not at a level right now where we can't ask more questions of them. You know, no brother, Liverpool is in the mud. Salah, Kanate, Kirkis, etc. We still have weapons. Gomez is a player who really surprised me because he just not too long returned from his long injury. He win every duel when come on. Liverpool was a bit lucky as usual. So Odegaard had a shoulder thing going on, so I don't know if he was able to play the whole game. Eze, you'd have to ask Arteta. Arteta probably tell you, he wasn't quite ready to start with us yet, or some crap. Who knows? Teta put on Eze and Odegaard slot, put on the Japs. AFTV give Glockerers a 5. Yeah, give him about the same. That free kick was a banger, never luck. That was a big free kick, bro. I'm sorry, man. I know every time a goal score on Arsenal or any team that you like, you want to scapegoat someone. But nah. That was just quality. Every team I'm looking for, but I think Arsenal was lucky against Man U. Facts. We did have some luck in that game. Striker can't strike without the ball. Striker can't strike without the ball. No worries. Gyökeres will be all right versus the next Big Six team. Oh, yeah. City, I hope. No finesse. I think Mosquera was brilliant, man. Brilliant. But I said that from preseason. I like the looks of him. Just looks very athletic, very sharp, just quick twitch, I like him. Spanish. So he's not gonna panic under pressure with the ball and things like that. So yeah, man. I like the looks of him, man. And he came in and did his job. He played better than Gabriel while he was in the game. And that's very rare when you play with Gabriel in a game. No worries. Gyökeres will be all right. Yeah, so that he'll never walk alone. Yes, we know. Reactive coaching. Idiot coaching is what it is. Man is afraid of his shadow, Drew. Afraid of his shadow. Is the first 5 touches he passed to Glock 14 and Victor ran for 46 minutes and touched the ball 2 times. Facts. So true. Man tried to do a wall pass with him right away. Remember him used to Arteta, so him know that style, I mean, not Arteta, him used to Mateta. Hopefully him don't get used to Arteta. Arteta made sure we didn't walk alone this week. The Liverpool signings were better today. Yeah, that's true. Kirkes, Verts, Ekitike wasn't as good, but Kirkes and Verts for sure were better than Zubimendi and Gyökeres and Madueke. I think Madueke was okay. I don't think Madueke was bad. And Eze just never get enough time. But yeah, I think Zubi and Gyökeres were not good enough today. Yeah, he was taking them from the right because we didn't have no left footer to take one. Arsenal probably was Madueke. Didn't cause Kirk as much problems. I thought he did. I thought Kirkes grew into it. I mean, Madueke got by him down the right-hand side, got a crossing. Never happened of it, but it went to what's my boy and the name Gyökeres, and it was cleared out. Then there was another run. Zubimendi play a wicked pass around the corner, and it was a last-ditch challenge. Then there was another one down the right where he cut inside, and the deflection could have went into the back post, but it looped over for a corner. So he caused him problems. I just think Kirk if they went at each other 8 times, Kirk has got it 4 out of 8. and the other 4 Madueke beat him. So it was a tit for tat, I thought. I wouldn't say he didn't cause him any problems though, or much problems. There was a spell in the first half. That was the outlet. It was like Saka was playing because he was going to Madueke every time. Yeah, I mean, look, we didn't play well enough to win. So I can't be giving guys 7s and 8s. We didn't do enough. Martin was injured and Eze was healthy, and they came on the field the same time. Make it make sense. Yeah, that's a great point. If one is healthy and one is injured, how are they getting the same minutes? I'm sorry, Arteta tactics absolutely ruined this game. Yeah, he should not have played those 3 players in midfield, man. There was no need. He could have gained control with a more attacking player in the midfield 3. He didn't need those 3 players to have the control. AFTV gave the Mascara Youth a 8 while another a 9. Somebody got a 9 from Arsenal today? Wow. Who was that? Saliba rolled his ankle warm-ups and Arteta played him instead, making him sit out to burn a sub 4 minutes in. Yeah, that's the same thing I was saying. He just said, Coach, I'm good. Just let me go. And, obviously every player is going to say they're good. You know what I'm saying? Then him say, oh, I saw him make 2 actions in the game. So when him say him never good, why never take him out and make him throw a ball in the air, make him jump and see how him react in him face, and you just make the man tell you him good and then have to burn this up? Come on, man. Big up, Pristine in the building. Madueke was cooking Kirkis today. What you talking about? Yeah. He cooked him a few times. But it wasn't every time though. Like a couple times he stopped Madueke as well. Yeah, 9 is, I don't know who would have gotten a 9 though. I guess Mascara could have gotten a 9, but he said Mascara got an 8 and someone else got a 9. So like, damn, who could that be? I don't know. But people, Liverpool just did Liverpool things, man. They found a way, they won the game. That's what they do. We had drawn both games with them last year, but now it's gonna be super pressure on us when the return fixture comes later in the season because you're a direct rival. You never want them to get more points than you in the season. So we have to win that game at the Emirates when the return leg happens. So 1-0 to Liverpool. I'm not gonna lie, when it got to 75, 80 minutes at 0-0, I'm thinking, yeah, I'd take the 0-0, It wasn't meant to be today, people. So 0 points, 3 more points for Liverpool. So they have opened a 3-point gap after 3 games. Yeah, he makes up for it with reading the game, but boy, it's only so much reading you can do. Eventually, you have to run, But 1-0 to Liverpool, and one manager just has faith and goes for it and is not afraid to get outscored in a game, and one manager just wants to win 1-0 if possible every time. And it's getting old at this point. Why are we buying all these attacking players? Just buy some more left backs, right backs, and centre backs then. And just, play 7 defenders and just try win 1-0. Just try literally just score and set pieces. We already do that now. So what's the difference? Anyway, for Arsenal right now, yeah, man. Congrats Liverpool and fans. Found a way. Like what next up said, champs do that, and find a way. So Aston Villa is in the mud, people. It is clear. I don't know how they have gone from where they were to this. Like, look at this. Marlon and Gesson as your wingers. Like, harken your mind back to a couple years ago, like Diaby and Bailey and Jacob Ramsey, and they had a nice little change up of players. Buendia came in and all these players. Now it's a joke thing. Look at this. Where's Emi Martinez? He's on his way to United. Jacob Ramsey's sold. They had Rashford and Asensio. They don't get any of them. I thought they were trying to get Asensio on a permanent. Don't look like that's going to be able to happen. Look at these people. Tristan Rowe, Travis Patterson, Jamal Dean Jamo, Bradley Burrows. So they're having to go into the academy as like one of the first subs off the bench. It's crazy. It's crazy. Crystal Palace, they have sold a lot of people. Rumored to sell Gahey as well. If he does leave, he left them with a great performance. Brilliant goal. Mark Gahey Dino. Mateta got the penalty conversion, and Sarr scored again. So I think I have Sarr and Mateta in one of my leagues together. So that was a nice day. Um, I don't know why the hell I bench Munoz for. Why would you ever bench Munoz? Him always in the attacks. But Aston Villa, man, they are really, really, really in the mud right now. Nothing not going their way. It doesn't look good for them. Um, I think Unai Emery might just say he's gonna resign or something because it's almost like they have sabotaged the man. Everybody that was good on the man team is leaving or gone. You know, he does have some people still around that could get him somewhere. You know, Morgan Rogers, I think, has boatloads of potential, but you can see his performance dropping just due to the fact that the team is so weak. Ali Watkins as well. He doesn't look like a striker that can get you 20 goals this season. Not the way Aston Villa is playing, because they took away a lot of the people that were supplying him with goals. So it needs to be studied of what not to do for a club like trying to make that step into Europe every season, Champions League. They clearly haven't done it the right way because they've had to mortgage off everybody and they're not left with what they started the project looking like they were heading towards at all. Crystal Palace, they have been able to kind of maneuver around the mass exodus a little bit better. You know, if Gahey does leave, that to me is going to be a huge hole. You know, because right now I don't see any defenders that can really step up to that level right away. You know, but they have done a good job in some of the more attacking areas. You know, Jeremy Pino, I thought was a good bit of business. A couple of years ago, he was looking like he's going to be a mainstay in the Spain national team. I think Sosa was a nice pickup as another piece. You know, Tyreek Mitchell is on that left wing back side, but they do have Conference League this year, so they did need some more people. But I do think they're a little light in centre back, and I could probably do with a couple more midfielders as well. But yeah, they definitely shocked me with the amount of goals they scored by. I thought it would be a draw, but 3-0 the final score to Crystal Palace. And to be totally honest, they deserved everything. They deserved everything. I mean, Villa did have some decent enough spells. Probably were value for a goal. But at the end of the day, I don't think they would have been value for a win. They did create a couple of big chances. They missed them both, of course. Um, but to be totally honest, Aston Villa just didn't do enough with all the possession, all the territory that they were able to have for some of the game. It just was not enough. You know, they had the more shots, yes, but same amount on target. So they were very wasteful, wayward shooting, not the cleanest and clearest of opportunities being created anyway. And Crystal Palace just showed why they were able to make a deep cup run. They do have those players with the right amount of quality. So if they get half chances, they get a little glimpse, they more than likely can create something. So 3-0 win for Crystal Palace, their first win of the season so far, but they are unbeaten. 2 draws and a win put them on 5 points, poised nicely somewhere in the middle of that table. Now, people, before we look at the weekly standings, because we're coming up to the 2-hour mark very, very shortly here, and I just want to say again, big up to each and every one of you lot who passed through tonight. Those of you who have stayed through the time and held the reasoning with us while we break down all the games, we greatly appreciate it. Let me see. We have gotten a few subscribers tonight, so we greatly appreciate that as well. And remember, people, like, share, subscribe. The like total, our target is 50 likes. Don't know how close or far we are from that, but I figure 50 likes is a fair target to shoot for. We are 10 away, so we could be able to get there if you guys hit the like button. I'm going to end the poll now because, I've been asking if you smashed it forever. So yeah, let's look at the standings though for the Premier League. 20th right now. The only team not to get a point yet, Wolves. They are on 0 points, of course. -6 goal difference already. Aston Villa, 1 point, 19th position. No, I don't think many would have predicted that for them. One draw, that nil-all draw in the first game, looking like a great result for them now.
They've conceded 4, still yet to score a goal. So a lot of you had Ali Watkins in your FPL to start the season. I'm sure he's probably gone by now, but yeah, 0 goals scored by the team. They're the only scoreless team in the top flight this season. Fulham, 2 points for them. They did draw their first 2. They did lose to Chelsea yesterday. So they're on 2 points in 18th position. Newcastle, another team that people wouldn't have thought would be where they are. 2 draws and a loss from 3. They are in 17th. Then we have West Ham win today, puts them up to 16th. Brentford in 15th with 3 points. Burnley as well, 3 points. And Man City also down there in the group with 3 points. Leeds on 4 points in 12th. Brighton, Forest, Man U all with 4 points. Man U up to 9th after their win. Then one team on 5 points, that is Crystal Palace. They are also unbeaten. One of 3 teams that are still unbeaten: Crystal Palace, Chelsea, and Liverpool. But Palace, of course, 2 draws, only the 1 win, so they're down in 8th. Bournemouth, 2 wins on the bounce, put them up to 7th. Now, Sunderland also on 6 points, both wins coming at the Stadium of Light, and they are in 6th position right now. Can it be a fairy tale season for them? Probably too early to tell. Everton, 6 points after 2 wins on the bounce. They are up to 5th after that. Tottenham loss puts them down to 4th. Arsenal from 1st down to 3rd after their loss. And 2nd place right now, Chelsea on 7 points. Also unbeaten. Drew the first game, win the next 2. And then Liverpool, the only perfect start so far, 9 points for them. Plus 4 goal difference, 8 goals for, but have conceded 4 goals. Pretty high goals conceded. All the teams down to 6th have conceded less. So, I think that Liverpool definitely will have to tighten up that defensive area moving forward. But they did keep a clean sheet today, so maybe they're well on their way to doing that. All right, people. So that is the story for the standings and the games for the week. Let's now move into the fun time. Well, it's all fun, but this is extra fun now when we reveal champ for the week and the donkey of the week, people. So let's get on the screen, people. Let's start with the table. And of course, we had a lot of people play. We're not going to show everybody's tally tonight, but let me just tell you, basically, the donkeys of the week, because there's more than one, they went 2 wins and 8 losses this week. So it was a tough week for a few of you lot. There's a few of you. Now 3 and 7 was also very popular for a lot of players that played. I myself was 3 and 7, had Chile, Nitro, CK and Fitzroy Grizzle had 1 correct score though, so they were a bit above the regular 3 and 7s, and Sheridan as well 3 and 7. So we just missed out, lucky enough for us. Had Chile as well 3 and 7. Then there were quite a few 4 and 6s as well. But the 4 and 6s will be shown on screen, so I won't say those. But here goes the reveal, people. If you haven't heard your name yet, you're either a donkey or you're closer to the top of the table. So let's reveal for the first now, the top of the table for week 3. And drum roll, please. Biggs G, the champion for the week, went 6 and 4. Biggs G, big up yourself, one of the most consistent selectors all throughout last season. Gets his first title for this season, going 6 and 4. Was it his first, or did he win the first week? No, it was Jaguars the first week. Yeah, so Biggs G gets his hands on the title for week 3. The JGTV prediction trophy goes to you. Pristine, well played. 5 and 5, closest competitor this week. 1 correct score. Pristine predicted the 1-0 Liverpool win. So good job to you. Game Birds 4 and 6 got 3rd on your own because of 2 correct scores. You had the most correct scores of anyone this week. Did you, Game Birds? And you predicted the 2-0 Chelsea win and the 2-1 Sunderland win over Brentford. I had one Jaguars, decent 4 and 6s this week. It doesn't sound that good, but based on the competition, was not so bad. You guys, 4th and 5th this week. So good job to Biggs G. Well fought, pristine, and Game Birds. I had one Jaguars. The rest of us need to do better. Now, there are some of us that need to do a lot better. And we're going to reveal those right now, people. So another drum roll is needed from the comment section. And so what's the problem here? What's the problem here, people? Technical difficulties? Hold on. I knew something was wrong, because when I did this earlier on, it was acting as if it didn't do it. I should have known that it didn't do it. Hold on, the people. We're getting it started right now, people. In the meantime, between time. Okay, there we go. So they're going like it never want to load. All right, people, we have it. So there are 5. Yes, I said it. Oh, I see why it's doing that. Oh, I see why that's happening. Yes, I do. All right, so I need to put this where? Here? No, that's not where. I need to put this here. Yeah, that's where I need to put it, replace. All right, people, we're good to go now. So we need to go to All right, we're good to go now, people. So let's reveal the donkeys, plural, and all right, let me see what I'm saying. Never again watch locked in now. Wait, so it's never happening again. Gigs, I started watching it. I got through about the first maybe 15 minutes, and I made a point that I want to finish it. So probably tonight, as a nighttime thing, I will just watch the rest. If I don't get through, I want to finish it because I do want to hear what them were saying. Talk about something different for once, Which team played the better football this week not just based on results, just football. Of all the teams this weekend, I thought Bournemouth played the best. And they really deserve to win by more. And it was consistently better than the other team. Like the whole game, like Bournemouth was better. So I would say Bournemouth. You'll never walk alone while being a donkey, you see it? Facts. All right, so now time for the donkey reveal, people. Drum roll, please. Yo, plenty of space. We have donkeys everywhere. If you need a donkey ride somewhere, you got Isak Float Management, Joseph Brown, Next Up Sports, and Duke, all sharing the dubious title of Donkey of the Week. They had the worst picks for the week. They all went 2 and 8. None of them were able to select a game correctly. But honestly, I think only one person was over the 500, more wins than losses, and one was 5 and 5. So it was a tough week picking wise, people. A lot of upsets, a lot of, the betting favorites lost, So, yeah, I mean, some of these, I couldn't have predicted that West Ham was going to beat Nottingham Forest so bad. You know what I mean? There's some madness happened this week, to be honest. So, yeah, for real. So yeah, this grass will be gone because I know it does look like one donkey, but this is actually like clips of all 5 in different areas, So the whole of the grass are gone back to the road there behind them. So Yeah, but I forgot make sure we do some maintenance on it and get it back, you know? It was a tough week. Very, very tough week. And the FPL, I don't even know how. The whole week I'm thinking I'm gonna be in last in everything, and this was horrible. But somehow I squeaked out points. So we're gonna show you guys real quick how it happened. So those are the results. Thanks again for playing to all who did. We have a break from this for a little while, people. We're not gonna do any international break predictions or anything like that. I'm gonna really focus a lot on Reggae Boys moving forward. I've been doing some scouting of the team, so we'll have the tactical preview before the games, and also we need to do that squad reveal reaction and my thoughts on the squad. My favorite word whenever the squad is picked. How balanced is it? So we're gonna look at that and just kind of give our take. I know you've been hearing it from all angles in the YouTube space. Big up all the YouTubers that put in the work, but Jason Gooner have a perspective as well, and I know some of you like to hear it. So don't worry, people. I won't keep you in the dark on my thoughts on the squad much longer. I will be around very soon to give you my full take on the squad. Also, take a look at some other squads as well, because they have all been named, and just kind of familiarize ourselves with that as we get into the nitty-gritty of the World Cup qualifiers. All right. Now, before I head out for the night, people, let me show you guys how it went in the fantasy this week. So let's start with the traditional fantasy draft. No, not draft, the traditional fantasy Premier League game, and see how it all turned out. So I got a 54 this week, a little bit above the average, which is always good, but not really anything to write home about. I did captain Pedro. That was a good decision. If I had known, I would have captained Senesi, but of course, I would have never done that. But really and truly, Pedro, Senesi, and Sanchez kind of saved my week. And Senesi, and who really saved my week is Dorgu, because I started Dorgu, and he just didn't play. Thank God. So I got the 14 points from Senesi. Appreciate that. And 54, turned what could have been a terrible week into a not so bad week, right? But definitely going to require some surgery after the break. I was very, very tempted this week to use a wild card or a free hit, but I decided not to. I just made one change. I think it was what was my one transaction this week? Oh, I did two. No, I did one. Total transfers. Yeah, so I brought in Dorgu for Wan Bissaka. So I really got rid of Wan Bissaka because I figured he wasn't going to do nothing because West Ham is horrible. But he didn't start, so that actually proved to be a good sub out. But Dorgu didn't even play, which Dorgu wouldn't have gotten much points if he did start. So just thankful all around that that didn't hurt me because that wasn't the greatest. Mario was looking real good for a long period, and then he gave up 3 goals in 9 minutes. Yokeres got a yellow. Giu doesn't start. And really, he was only playing, and that's why I was gonna get this done. I had Palmer, and I think I had Saka last week. I got rid of him to bring in Semenyo, and then I got in what's his name? Dorgu this week, which was a waste. So yeah, we're gonna have to do something for next week, but it didn't really kill me that 54. I mean, I'm second place in this one, King of Jamaica, only 5 points behind Vendetta, who had 71. I think this is a 45-person league, so I'm in second there, not too bad. A lot of people close to third place, 1 point behind me, then 4 points, 7 points, 10 points. So everybody bunched up in this one, but I'm in second. This iSports Fearless League, this brother gone 207, bro. The man a chop. But I'm at 188, so not too bad. And I'm in 15, tied with some people there. But this one have like almost 600 people, I think. So I'll take 15th place out of 600. That's not so bad. Then the other league, I think Sports DTM, big up to Tigat and them. I'm about 5 points behind Vendetta here. So look like Vendetta going to be leading all of these, and I'll probably be in second in all of them. There's a lot of crossover now. This is a different one. Mass Sports World. This man Saskatoon passed me in the final hour. I'm in second there. Big up to Waffledon and the others in this one. But I'm, doing fine. Second place there. And then in my own, my damn cousin passed me in the final hour again. So how the man passed me, Star? Oh, I think it was the bonus points, Damn. It was the bonus points made the difference. So yeah. So I'm in second about everywhere. Drew Russ with a big week. Yo, Drew, what did you do? Okay, Allison and Virgil did it for you. And Gehi and Bruno captain. Damn. Beto. In my draft league, I was horrible and I did some terrible decisions. I dropped Beto and the man scored. Now this was crazy. So I won my game this week. But brother, this was a nail biter upon this. How do you look at the fixtures results? So I won this game 46-44. Lucky. This was my team for this week. Henderson and Gehi carry me. Trips, Cucurella. Thank you very much for that. Gibbs, White, Semenyo, Rice, Endoy, Usula. So nobody up front did nothing for me. Oh, Rice get 4. Defensive contribution, must. Yeah. Most defensive contribution him get. Yep. 2 points. So yeah, luckily defense kind of saved me, about 30 odd points from the defense alone. So 46 there. I beat this player by 2 to get the win. So this is like you play opponent every week. So I'm going 6 points, 2 wins and a loss in this one. Now the other 2 is just a straight points league. So in this one, Yakins, I'm gonna get 43, but I'm way down a 5th for the season. I did bring in this brother, Sunderland keeper, that worked out well. Can save a penalty 8, nor he get 0. And Big Dirty stinking 9 points on the bench. And Becca Big Dirty stinking 8 points on the bench. But luckily, Roos do the same, so it never hurt. Marmouche finally do something. Thiago Mateta. Bruno G. So yeah, 43 there, not the best, but not the worst in draft. And then Crystal Ball, I'm in 3rd here, only 14 behind, so we're doing good. But this, my cousin Alex Star, Old Trafford, man gets 72 in draft, that's difficult. So 43 points in this, so Enzo, Sar, Mateta really do everything. Marmouche, everybody else was crap. Virgil wasted away on my bench, and Becca wasted away on my bench. So this is them weeks where you need to take out your bias of your fan of your damn team and just play the damn fantasy game. Cause why would you bench the man them against Arsenal in a for them yard? Just being a top gooner, as my friend BBK and others always say. But yeah, people, that is it, Fantasy draft, fantasy league. Talked about real life games as well. We broke down everything. VAR controversy, big goal we score, coaches went on a sense. So yeah, man, people, we have reached the end of the channel's content for the day. Big up to each and every one of you lot, and make sure that you spread the word about Jason Gooner TV. And yes, but a good analysis turn negative into positive. That's true. All right. Big up to each and every one of you. Thanks again for playing the prediction game this week. Congrats again to the winner, Biggs G. And I don't know whether to say congrats or commiserations to the 5 donkeys. Isak, Float Management, Joseph Brown. Next up, Francis, big up yourself. And also, the donkey of the whole season, last season. Big up yourself, Duke. But yeah, man, thanks so much for tuning in. Keep on smashing the like button. Get me to that likes goal of 50 and spread the word about Jason Gooner TV. We'll be here all season with the EPL previews, reviews, definitely in the international breaks and not in the breaks. We cover the Jamaican football as well. So just stay tuned, people. Jason Gooner TV is rapidly growing. We want to grow at a faster rate. That means you guys have to show me the love. Drop likes on the videos, get me more into the algorithm, get more people knowing, because I've noticed when people watch, they come back. So we need to just get more people to watch. All right. Big up. Thanks so much, people, again, for the support. I'm Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV. And come on, you Gooners. I can say it kind of soft. Reggae boys time now. Come on, Jamaica. Reach the damn World Cup, please. Please. Please.